Alright guys, so today I'm taking a look at this 4-pack LED smart Wi-Fi light bulb. And these are constructed well. You can see the housing here. I've had some in the past on some LED lights. I don't remember if they were smart or just typical LED lights. But the housing that holds the diffused portion would actually separate, so it was a little bit of a problem. These don't have that problem. They do get a little warm, but they don't get hot. Most of the lights get warm, so it's not an issue. So other than that, these are 600 lumen, 7 watt, and they range anywhere from 2700 Kelvin to 6500. So you're gonna get a warm light or a cool light depending upon where that adjustment is. And they do ship in these packages like this, so they're very well protected. You have a little, basically, thank you for your purchase, and if you want to leave a review type card. And then you have, if you need support or if you just need to use the user manual in order to get these things functioning. And then this is the box that they come in, just so you can see. And there's the specifications. You can kind of maybe see that, but there's some information here. You can find out more information via the link, and obviously if you purchase these, you'll be able to see that too. So my thoughts on these real quick would be, as I said, they are constructed well. I don't have any kind of pops or anything with this. I'm not able to just pop this right off. It does stay on there. If you tap on it, it's not going to fall off. So constructed well, doesn't get hot, no excessive heat. You can use the Smart Life app. I use Toya Smart. It's basically the same thing. You have some options for some pre-set lighting scenarios. You also have scheduling. You can, of course, use these with your digital voice assistant. If you have an Amazon Echo device or a Google Assistant in your home, you can use it for those type things. It does get really bright as far as I'm concerned, as far as the actual bright white light. We're going to take a look at that in a moment. But there is one thing I will warn you that I ran into an issue, and I have had a lot of these. And if you've seen any of my other videos that have these, these type of devices, you'll see my little test demo style lamp that I use for the same for all. That way I can always kind of judge them, and it actually worked out well today, because in every other instance, pretty much that I can recall, the detection process where you're connecting the light to your home network, 2.4 gigahertz only, keep that in mind. In every other instance, it would go through and have a detection process where there's a countdown sort of cycling around and a percentage in the center. And every time it would probably 15-20% or so, somewhere in that neighborhood, it would go through that detection and it would pick it up and it would just add the device successful. I could control it through my network, through my automation, through voice and whatnot. The problem I ran into with at least this specific light is it would hit about 7% every single time. And after multiple attempts, I just gave up and switched to a different light to try, and it hit around 7% and was detected the first time. This one, after, 4 or 5 times, never detected. So there is a possibility that the detection is going to be problematic. Now, I'm using the same phone, the same network, I'm in the same exact location, the same lamp, the same outlet. I mean, everything is identical and replicated except this. And then when I changed from this to the other one that you're going to see here in just a second, it worked fine. So out of 4, there's always a potential you're going to have some that do and some that do not work, is my thought. So that's a little bit of a concern, because I've done this enough times. I have a lot of these, and I have a lot of smart home devices, and I've always worked in the tech industry in the past when I was working. So I feel comfortable saying that I know how to use these things well enough to know that is a problem. All right, to be specific, I've tested all 4, and all of them but one worked fine. First attempt, within seconds, connected, functioned as expected, no issues, no problems. 1 of the 4 did not work. 6-ish, maybe 7 attempts, and waiting for the entire cycle to complete, which is not typical because it'll usually go very short in the detection, and then automatically connect and just spin around to the completion and function. So there you go. 1 out of 4 bad. Potentially a problem, but I don't know. It's never happened before, but it's bound to happen sometime. Keep that in mind. And that may be a problem for someone. All right, so instead of a fancy transition, we're just gonna turn the camera right now. All right. So you can see the light here and the phone here. So let me turn this on. All right, so as I stated, I am using the Toya app. Now, the interface is going to be slightly different, but essentially you're going to get a lot of similarities between the apps, especially if you're using the Smart Life app. It's basically the same thing. So with this, you can actually turn it off and on via this little button right there, the little green you can see, but instead we're just going to actually open it up. Touching the actual icon there is going to turn it off and on. If we hit down here on the bottom, it says white mode. We also have options for brightness, and it says color temperature, I believe. Yeah, color temperature. So if I hit the brightness, I can knock that down, but this is a very bright light, so that's pretty cool. And obviously, you can dial that in wherever you choose, get that sort of orangish, soft sunlight style glow. Bring that back across. Now, if you hit up here, you'll be able to edit the name, look at some of the specific device information. You can also deal with integration into the smart devices. So if you have your Amazon Echo and such, you can do your updates, check the network, and set the offline notification options. Excuse me. So you've got a few different options there. But back to the main interface, if I hit down here, down at the bottom, you're going to have the white mode option, the color mode option, the scenes, and the schedule. Obviously, with schedules, you can go in here and add this, have it turn off and on different times, different situations. So if you go to bed, wake up at the same time and want a light to come off and on, or if you're out of town and you want to set up some randomized schedule and all, you've got some different options here you can play with adding that. I don't tend to use that very much. The scenes, what I spoke about earlier, the predetermined color variations, for example, you can go, through this list and choose it, or what probably most people are going to do is either the white, where they can choose the brightness and the color temperature to get that soft orangish glow, or that bright white, it's almost a blue, and then the color mode, which gives you those same options. You can dim it up and down, change the brightness. Over here you have the saturation. So if you start playing with the saturation, you're going to get different hues. And then the brightness here, you turn this down so it's not so bright. And if I can get my finger on it, there we go. I was missing it just slightly, but obviously you can just dial in, excuse me, dial in the color temperature, the color that you actually want, and then you can also turn it off and turn it on. So it's quick and responsive. So as a whole, another seamless transition, not really. So as a whole, it actually works really, really well. And it's fine. Now, just as a little heads up, in case you're not aware, to add this to your network, it's all outlined in the manual as far as how that works, but you can basically plug it up and unplug it rapidly, or flip it off and flip it on 3 times. The light will begin to blink. That puts it in detection mode. Then you will click the corresponding interface on the app. It's very simple. It will walk you through it. Type in your password if you haven't already done it. If you've done it in the past and saved it, it's going to be a lot faster. And because of how short the detection period is, my tip to you is definitely add a device to the app first if you have one available. If not, good luck. Hopefully you will have no issues, but detection is very, very quick, so you will have to go fast and type that in quickly. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share that with you really quickly. At 7 watts of power, you're not going to use a whole lot of power, and they should generally last quite a long time. Most are rated for like 50,000 hours of use, which is, I think, the equivalent of 20 years, depending upon of course, how much you use it per day, but that's with an average. I don't know the exact number. But yeah, LED, low power, long life, and because it's a smart Wi-Fi type LED, you have nice options available. So if you want to find out more about this, check out the link below. Just keep in mind that the possibility of having detection issues is there with these, and I've not seen that with any others that I've ever had. So it does concern me a bit. Okay? But I don't know, your mileage may vary. Check out the link below to find out more. Thanks for watching.